I want to talk about bitterness and unforgiveness. So, unforgiveness towards any single person who has done you wrong. I don't know if you've had a boss. I've had this with teachers before. I've had this with teachers in school, so that can be a thing for you. Or if it's a boss, maybe a parent, maybe a step-parent. That's another part of my story. That has treated you like utter trash, treated you like crap, given you no respect, given you no honor. Like, even if you did nothing to them and they just treated you like trash, and they've done whatever they've done to you, and you feel hurt by them. What I want to say to that is, if you want to live your fullest life, because that's what everything revolves around here in these VIP times, living your fullest life, you have to remove every ounce of unforgiveness from your heart, because unforgiveness is like drinking poison expecting it to kill the other person. I think I've said that before. Unforgiveness is drinking poison expecting it to kill the other person. It's funny. It's funny because the term, I don't know if you guys have heard, which I'm sure you have, the cliche phrase, I'm holding a grudge, or he's holding a grudge, or you're holding a grudge against somebody. You know what's really funny about that? If you hold a grudge against somebody, who is it affecting? You're sitting here holding a grudge. You're holding it. You have it within yourself. You're holding a grudge that's not even connected to the other person. They may not even know that you're holding it. They don't see it. They don't feel it. It's not connected to them, but you're holding it. Therefore, it's only impacting yourself. Holding a grudge does nothing to the other person. It only impacts yourself. In a roundabout way, it can hurt the other person because it can ruin the relationship and cause tension. It can cause tension. But unforgiveness is one of the greatest enemies to living your fullest life. It is an entrapment. It is literally something that snares you up and keeps you trapped. It's funny because I have a mentor and a teacher of mine who, he had a really close friend to him who wanted to commit suicide at one point in his life. And so he went out and bought battery acid and chugged battery acid to kill himself. The thing is, it didn't even kill him. He ended up living, but now, to this day, years later, he's in the hospital. His entire esophagus had been destroyed. His lungs were all messed up. His intestines, everything's not working in his body anymore. They had to put a rubber tube to make an esophagus to make a fake esophagus. They had to make these artificial lungs. So he's basically a living, like, he can't move, he can't breathe himself, he can't function on his own. So he literally sits in bed all day with all this artificial stuff because of that one time where he just thought he wanted to end it all and drink battery fluid and end his life. And whenever my teacher talked to him, because he's close friends with him, whenever he went to go talk to him after all that happened, the thing the person said, the only thing he said, like that really stuck with him was, "I wish I were dead right now." Because all of these things had gotten to him so much in life, it got to him so much, and he got cramped up and entrapped, and he was suffering, and so he wanted to end it all by drinking battery acid. And it ended up doing that to him, which is even, I couldn't even imagine how that feels, man. I couldn't even imagine how that would feel. But you have all these leaders in your life. We are called, in order to live our fullest lives, we are called to honor those people. Do you know that you literally get rewarded for honoring people? I don't care. You don't have to mystify it. You don't have to be a religious person. You don't have to have faith of any kind. You don't have to be against any, like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You get rewarded in life for honoring other people. You get rewarded for that. You get blessings sent on earth for yourself by honoring other people. In return, those people will honor you. That's a blessing in itself. But things come from that. I have literally, through honoring people, through honoring my teachers, honestly, even without even trying, honoring a few teachers that I didn't think mattered that much, that helped me get a grade bumped up. Those people write crazy, ridiculous letters of recommendation that can help me get into any school I wanted to. They can help me with anything in life. If I'm ever struggling, if I ever need to learn something, they have all of that for me. Why? Because I put myself out there and I showed them respect and I honored them. Honoring someone doesn't mean just showing them respect. It means going out of your way to put them ahead of you. Honor people, man. Honor people. Honor people. I love the name of your seasons, guys. But unforgiveness. If anyone has harmed you recently, I feel like there's someone in chat who has been hurt by something recently, by somebody who's done something to them. It can be an ex-girlfriend or an ex-relationship. It could be a family member. It could be a friend or an employer, anything like that. I know one of you guys have been hurt before by something like that. And I just want to say, do not let that sit in your heart. Right now, I don't want to invite you to do this. I want this to be an impartation to you. I want to challenge you to remove that. Personally, get together with yourself and forgive every single thing about that person, even if it was the worst thing that you could possibly imagine. Even if it was the worst thing you could possibly imagine that's happened to you, letting that sit in your heart literally is causing sickness. There's studies have been done by secular scientists. I say secular because a lot of people think this is like, oh, these were religious scientists that did that study. But no, these were like secular, real legit scientists who did a study. And it shows, I'm not gonna state the statistic because I don't properly remember the number, but the majority of sickness and disease comes from bitterness and unforgiveness in your heart. Headaches? Are you having headaches? Are you having migraines? Are you having heart problems, blood problems, obesity, blood pressure, depression, anxiety, stress, fatigue, body aches, disease, cancer? Every single one of those diseases goes down to the root of bitterness and unforgiveness. That springs something. Of course, there's other outward things that we can handle, such as our health, or what we're eating, what we're intaking into our body. But all of that is irrelevant if the entire time we're investing poison into our heart. What does it matter what we're eating if we're drinking poison every day, expecting it to hurt that person that hurt us and get revenge on them? Because revenge is never going to help anything. Season of triumph. I love that. Noble. Season of triumph. Do it. Write it down. Put it on a sticky note. I have a sticky note by my door. I drew a little bow and arrow. I thought it looked really cool. It's kind of cheesy. And I put young warrior. That is like describes me right now in the stage of life that I'm in. Young warrior. That's not the name of my season, but I tap that every time I'm walking out of my door for the day. I tap that young warrior to remind myself. That's who I am right now. Write that down. Write triumph. Tap it. Let yourself know. Set a reminder every day. Triumph. So that everything you do that day revolves around triumph. But get alone with yourself and forgive everyone who has done you wrong. Even if you can't justify it. Even if you can't justify the wrong. Because most of the time we can't justify it. You guys heard me talk about that ex-girlfriend that I had that sexually cheated on me with my stepbrother who was living at home with me. Do you know how much that ruined my life for the years after that? Do you know how much that hurt on the inside? How much depression that put on me? I was sick all the time. I wonder why. I was hurting all the time. I wonder why. I didn't have the right relationships even with my family members anymore. I wonder why. I had to enter a moment where I was on my knees bawling my eyes out because I had to forgive them that much. Even, you don't have to mystify it. I don't care. I'm going to be concrete and real with you. I went to God about it and prayed about it and gave it all to Him and let my forgiveness come out of me, crying my eyes out, spilling my heart out to Him because I know He cares for me. You don't have to, even if you don't believe in that, even if you don't want to mystify it, whatever, let it out, man. Let it out. Forgive the person. Forgive every single person. Write their names down and forgive each of them by name for what they've done. And don't let it linger with you any longer. Don't let it linger with you. It hurts, man. It hurts. That is one of the greatest enemies to our greatness. That is one of the greatest enemies to our greatness is unforgiveness. It hurts, man. It hurts. Unforgiveness and bitterness. You don't need it in your life. You don't need it in your life. You guys don't need it. It does suck, but you know what's funny? Because I came to a point finally where I could forgive that person and my stepbrother and everything else there. Do you know what's awesome? I have an amazing relationship with my stepbrother now. He's married, has a young son, and I love those guys. We're on amazing terms, and I'm still trying my best to honor that person. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I think about it every now and then, and it comes back sometimes when I don't want it to come back, and I think about it because I'm human. But I do my best to make sure that that doesn't affect my relationship with somebody. Because every single person is special. Treat everyone like they're special. When you go to school in the morning, make sure you're honoring your teachers. That means being there on time. That means doing your best and not messing with them, throwing spitballs in their face, because they're working hard to make you prosperous. Honor everyone. Honor your parents. If you have parents, treat them like king and queen. Treat your parents like king and queen, or king or queen if you live with a single parent. King or queen. Treat them with the utmost respect, and I guarantee you that's going to translate into how you treat your future wife, how you treat your kids, how you treat your friends, and in the end, you're going to have meaningful relationships with other people just because of the experience you've had treating your parents properly, treating your teachers properly, treating your boss that treats you like a crap properly. It's frustrating, but it must be done. To live, if you want to live your fullest life, if you don't want to let that keep coming into your mind and keep affecting you, if you let it go, it's not going to hurt you anymore. I just want to say that if you let it go, whatever that person did to you isn't even going to, you're not even going to complain about it anymore. You won't have to. You don't need to. Even if they continue to do it, you're still not even going to find fault in it anymore if you can forgive that person. It's a wonderful thing. And forgive everyone who harms you. Bless your enemies. Don't curse them. Bless your enemies, man. Treat the ones who harm you better than you treat the ones who treat you properly. Because it's easy to show respect and love to somebody who's always helping us. That's super easy to show love to my best friend who's always there for me, who anytime I get sick, he's going to be there for me, or she's going to be there for me to bring me food or to help me out or to comfort me in my grief. It's easy to treat someone like that with respect. How much character do you have to have in order to treat somebody who's always out to get you? How much more character, how much more does it take of a man or of a woman to go out and set yourself out of your own way to treat that one person who curses you with utmost respect? Be that person, because it's weird in today's time. People look at you like you're crazy if you do it. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I honestly feel in my heart that someone in this chat needed to hear that. Even if it was one of you guys, that means more to me than anything. It could be one of you, it could be 5 of you. I don't care, personally, as long as it meant something to someone. That's all that matters.